I just put a bunch of oil on my face and my hair keeps sticking to my face now. So it's almost 6. It's so funny how, like, if I sleep longer, then I feel like I'm like running late. It's weird. It's like you put these schedules on your own self. Like you put this pressure on your own self. Um, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because yesterday even, whatever time I got up, like at 3 or whatever it was, and then I was up for a long time, and then went back to sleep like around 8 or something to 9, and I felt like, man, I feel so awake. And I felt really good. And then by the evening, I was so tired, and I just couldn't stay awake. And then we were in this weird weather thing again. It's just, I don't know. It's creepy. It's creepy. It's cold. It's rainy. It's weird color. It's just eerie. The sounds are all loud and off. It's just, I don't know, the whole thing. And it's just like, wait and see what's next. Yesterday, all this wind, and you could hear it coming from a long ways. And I thought, okay, so there's going to be a wind thing. They're going to knock over some trees. We're going to be evacuated, something like that. But then it stops. It's like, oh my God, what is coming over here? It's going to be something. It's going to be a tsunami. It's going to be like, and I feel like I'm pretty far back from a tsunami, but it will definitely create chaos. And if they start telling us we have to evacuate at the same time that other people, like I've said, there's not enough evacuation routes. It's just going to create chaos. It's definitely a place where there would just be cars everywhere. It's just sitting on the roads. And because there would be no way to go. And they keep having that. It keeps happening in different cities and stuff. There keeps being some kind of thing, and they just have the people, they just close the freeway, and they just have people sitting on the freeway for hours and hours. I saw one video where a band got out, set up their stuff, and started playing music because they were traveling from one gig to the next and were stuck in the thing. So they just got out. Everybody's just out in the road anyways. They just got out their instruments, set it up, and started filming them playing in this traffic jam. And one thing I have also seen is why I said there was going to be a lot of heroes. I keep seeing that too. Like people saving other people. It's constantly keeps being people saving other people. And I don't know if it's the difference in awareness and not awareness. Because awareness is when you're awake, you have awareness, so you pay more attention. When you're not awake, you're just surviving. So you're just on autopilot, just trying to survive. So that that's why the awakening, that's why I think it's called the awakening. It's because you're not awake, you're not aware, you're not in control. You're just passively trying to survive in a very toxic kind of let me think of what that word is. Hold on. Like with toxic behaviors. And one thing in our society is that we have been built off toxic behaviors. Like we've allowed toxic behaviors to be a part of our life for so long. And so now it's the recognition and the choice of like, no, I don't want that in my life. And right now, man, J-Lo is being roasted. Oh my gosh. I think her name is Megyn Kelly, a newscaster. She's the one that people kept saying, that's really Nicole Simpson Brown. Like all these people are so stuck on this. And I see people who look alike all the time. I keep thinking it has something to do with our DNA. It has something to do with our connections to each other or something. Like there's more to this stuff. But anyways, you have these people who think everybody's the opposite sex, and everybody is playing, like there's people who think that there's people who are playing several characters and stuff. You know, I don't know. I think, you know, who has time for that? Even Kevin Hart had said a long time ago, he said he had several clones because he couldn't even keep up with his own life. So some of these people, I can't imagine him trying to uh, establish or control several different celebrities' lives and pretend to be them. I don't know. There's a video somebody was just showing the new Ariana Grande. It's like her skin. They do this all the time on these people. They did it on Michael Jackson. And then they said a whole thing about, well, he has a skin condition. They did it on Beyonce. They did it now on Ariana Grande. She's changed colors. Not just her hair, her skin. And they make them like lighter. And then the thing with Martin Lawrence, I think, isn't that his name, Martin Lawrence? Where they're saying that now his family's even saying that the clone isn't him, this clone person, that it is, it's not really him. He acts different. I don't know why people think like a clone is going to be a duplicate like that. Like a clone at a cellular level, but there's another component to what we are. The energy that gives us life, that is what we are, is that energy. They're trying to duplicate, replicate a human existence through science. Like I said, they're always, their science is like dollar store compared to what's real. And so they are trying to duplicate humans, but you can't, because we have a consciousness, we have an energy pack, we have a DNA structure that is us. So even if they make this clone and use the same DNA structure, there's something about your consciousness would go on. They're creating another one. It's like, but it is like, I don't know, it's like a shadow consciousness or something, like a replica, like a part of your consciousness that is manufactured. Like if they use cellular memories and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's like that Dave Chappelle one. I mean, he seems like he's got a whole personality. I kind of think the Dave Chappelle one doesn't know he's not Dave Chappelle. Like, probably a lot of these clones don't know that they're not the original person. So I don't know. He could, but he seems kind of innocent or something, like he doesn't know. And but that's definitely not Dave, you know, original. And that guy has been out performing for a while. And people could tell a difference in his performance, but Martin Lawrence, he came right out and people were right away, what's wrong with him? That's not him. And then his family starts saying stuff and saying that there's something about he was sick with something, so he decided to do a clone. And who knows all the whole story, because you don't go forward, your consciousness. And even like, let's say this thing that they do about this cryogenics, where they freeze you. Like they have somebody who, I think they have Walt Disney's head. He wants it brought back when his cure is available for whatever he had. And then they'll take his head. He could already be another one of him. He could already be a kid. But they, so then they take the head. I don't think they grow a new body from it. I think they just take the DNA and stuff. I don't know, because they have this whole thing now where they say they can move consciousness. But I don't think a consciousness is going to stay frozen in a goddamn refrigerator for a long time, waiting for it to be unfrozen. Like, I would think, and then what would that be like? You would be stuck in a coma, like coma, like how people are when they're in a coma, your consciousness is still there, but I think it continues to have experiences. But I don't know about this freezing thing, like what that does. That the whole thing seems strange. Like they get confused even over body and soul. Like they don't know it's separate or something. Like the body is like a body is the soul, like the body sheds the soul or something. But really it's the soul comes into the experience and has an image for it to experience through. And the image is not just for the experience. So you have a game player in the game, but it's also to represent to you what you need to work on. So it brings up certain things that you need to focus on, insecurities and stuff like that. Like the Megan, isn't her name Megan Kelly? Yeah, I think so. The news lady on J-Lo, man, she had somebody interviewing her, and they were talking smack on her. And I don't know if this is like from the same news thing, or if she's doing this like daily now, just like talking smack on J-Lo. But this is what I was saying was going to happen. There's going to be some people who are going to be so roasted publicly. And it's like something with their soul contracts and stuff. And you could see like that coming with her. She is so disconnected from people or something. There's so many wait staff that have waited on her, and she won't look them in the eye. She won't talk to them directly. If they ask her what she wants, she tells the manager, and he has to relay it to them. She's like above everybody or something in her eyes, that everybody's a peon, but they're still gonna bring you stuff. I don't know, that attitude, you can just see her attitude. Of course it was gonna come back like this, but to me, she has some severe personality disorders. And that's the thing, is like a lot of these people, they just get yes men around them who just tell them they're great all the time, and just all their whims and stuff, that they just cater to them. And the people become egocentric. They become so full of themselves that they it's like a huge personality disorder. Like she's got borderline or histrionic or something. Like she's embarrassing. Like I feel embarrassed for her. Like, yes, man. And she's so transparent. People can see right through her and keep making fun of her, making fun of her. And she just keeps digging in more. So so now she had to cancel her concert, but there was all these things showing. She did one of them, and the stadium thing, it wasn't a stadium, it was like an indoor one. Like we had one in Spokane, an indoor place where concerts are. I can't think of what they're called, but it's like where sporting events, everything. So one of those kind of places. And so it has the floor where the people sit, and then it has all of the seats way up high. And the whole thing was empty. There was only a little crowd on the floor. And then there's a lot of videos coming out showing her really singing. Like she can't sing. She uses other people's voices and stuff. That was something they always said about Madonna too. That some of these people that don't even know how to sing, and then they make them famous singers. And by using these machines and shit to fill in with their voice and whatnot, because they're selling personas, like personalities or something. Personalities that they think we'll idolize, and that we will follow along with whatever they tell us to do. So she had those concerts that nobody was coming to, weren't selling tickets. She lowered the tickets apparently to like $8 or $9. I think they were in the hundreds. And then she lowered them to $8 or $9. That's gotta hurt for the people who paid the hundreds of dollars, who bought the tickets before all this stuff keeps coming out, because I think she's losing fans right and left now. So she canceled the tour, and then her whole relationship, like she made this big drama on her, I think it is documentary that she had made about her and her love story with Ben or something. And then he thought that that was like, she was exposing too much stuff. You could see, like, for a fucking year at least, every picture that kept popping up, every video that kept popping up was her and him, like, stomping out to a car, him having to open the door for her, him slamming the door. I was like, this couple is not in sync. This couple does not even barely like each other. And so, but she keeps trying to sell this story that is not, like, you can watch the story play out, and it's like, check, what are you trying to tell us? Because this isn't what's really happening. You can see what's really happening. And what's his name? Ben was getting, you could tell he didn't like her. Whatever their situation is. If she's too public and he's more private, or she said things he didn't like, or what. She's very self-involved. Like, to be with someone like that, probably with Jennifer Garner, she was very like, she probably would give beyond, you know, she put up with a lot of his stuff. I think she, because when they were together, I think he was like a raging alcoholic gambling problem. And she kept putting up with it, like, covering it up or something. And then they end up splitting up. And I don't think she wanted to. If she had kids, I think she's very family oriented. She's always doing movies that are like religious and stuff. So I think she's very, like, it was surprising when they even got together. It was like, man, that's a mismatch. And, but then, you know, oh, but he was loving J-Lo the whole time, and now they're finally together, and she does their documentary of their love story, and then it falls apart, and I guess she's, I don't know, because Megyn Kelly is saying she's trying to tell everybody this is the best love ever, and now it's already broken, and she keeps trying to blame it on Ben. It's all Ben's fault. You know, she tried. You know, she just always goes above and beyond. It's like, God, so strange. And now she's been seen, she's like in Italy on a boat, and she went on vacation to get away from all the drama. She had to quit her she had to give her concert money back. Her movie has failed. She put out some movie that's, I guess, ridiculous. And now her marriage has failed. She's probably got charges coming from the stuff that she was involved with way back in, like, when she very first came on the scene and got involved. I think she's very opportunistic. So she probably was looking for that, like, somebody here, make me famous. What do I have to do? Drop to my knees, that's fine. So I think there's a lot of people who didn't like her anyways because of her personality. But now she's out on this boat, and this is so strange. So she's sitting there in her swimming suit, and however people are getting footage of this, she is sitting on this boat, posing and taking pictures of her own butt. She's on this boat by herself, taking pictures of her own butt. I guess she's going to post them or something. Maybe she'll, who knows what the hell she's doing. It's like so strange. It's like, girl, you need to heal. You've got some fucking issues, and it's so embarrassing. Like, that's why where people think, oh, beauty and money, that's the solution. Well, she has both, and she's like, her life is a fucking mess. And she's getting so roasted too, like another broken relationship. That was my huge fear when I was a relationship junkie. So I can have compassion for her. I can see, you know, that I can relate to that need of needing somebody there for you or something. But, or, you know, I don't know, it's like a feeling of not being alone, a feeling of partnership, maybe. I don't know, because it's not really a partnership. I mean, if you have a relationship that's a partnership, then, you know, you're doing really good. So many relationships in our society were just very opponent-based, very much back and forth over whose way it's going to go, who's suffering more, who's had more trauma, who's had, you know, it's a competition over who's getting fucked over all the time. And so if you have a relationship that's more mature than that, that's really good. But I didn't for a long time. And when the fourth one was falling apart, is why one of the reasons why I kept holding on so long. It's because, like, fuck, I don't want to be another fucking failure at this. Like, oh my God, why can't I not make this work? What is wrong with me? Like, there's people who go get married the first person. My brothers are both been married like 30 years, and they're the same person. And they've gone through a lot of bullshit, and they're still together. It's like, man, there's no way it was any of them that I could have gone through more of the bullshit. Like, even the one I was with the longest, I was ready to do myself in to get out of it. I was like, I couldn't take it. I just kept thinking about just driving off a bridge. I was like, I gotta get out of this. Like, this is horrible. And then, and it is all about control and not being understood and being pushed, someone pushing you out of you, like not accepting you, not allowing you to be a part of your own life. That is, that's heavy, man. And so, that was a common theme in my thing, you know, and I can get it, like, I'm strange, and that's the duality thing. They liked the way I looked, but then they didn't like what was inside of me. And so, guys like, oh yeah, they like the way you look, we'll be a couple. But then that's all they want. They just want somebody to look good with them. Like, don't start talking. Don't start saying stuff. God, you weirdo. You're gonna have everybody thinking you're weird. It's like, yeah, well, that's what I am. Don't get caught up in what I look like. That, but so she is, you know, she needs to take this time and get to her wounds and heal. Because now they're being like, oh my gosh, she's trying to say, oh, she did so much to hold on to this perfect relationship that she was trying to push on that they had the perfect love story and all this stuff. And now it's falling apart, and she just keeps blaming him. And I don't know, he's been in some failed relationships. All of us, you know, all of us as adults. Like, even people who have been married for a long time, you think, well, I've been married for a long time. Well, if you got divorced, you would see. It would just be another failed relationship, another failed relationship. I would say, I don't know, you can't just say one thing. You can't just say, oh, well, just stick with who you got because, you know, it's better than being alone or something like that, because I don't think that. I think it's better to find yourself. And so being yourself is a lot more better than just having somebody there with you, especially somebody who doesn't accept you. But the the part of her blaming everybody else, she's the victim, she's doing everything right, and nobody's doing anything wrong. Well, that is personality disorder, like 101. You can't just be the victim blaming everybody. You got to take responsibility for yourself. Nothing changes until you take responsibility for yourself. You're the one who has to see, like, oh, look, I did that. I do that. I do that all the time. And you go and see the things that you do that you don't like, that you got to recognize your toxic behaviors, the things that you do, so that you can stop doing what you do. Like, she needs to stop. She needs to stop being in relationships. She needs to stop being a phony. She needs to stop being artificial. And I think the universe is going to push hard. I mean, there's going to be a lot of these people are going to go to fall really far. Like, they were way at the top, really full of themselves, and they're going to fall. in a big way in society. And I think it is to open our eyes and see, like, yo, you can be beautiful and have all the money in the world and be miserable, self-indulgent. Like, that was one thing Megyn Kelly was saying is like, with this other woman, they were just like roasting her, saying, she's like 13-year-old maturity. That's what have I been saying? Like, you get stuck at a certain maturity. So if she, whatever, she could have been just really immature anyways. And then she started being around famous people. She started getting full of herself. And people started wanting to be around her so that they could be around the people she was around. So then she started getting, like, thinking that she was better than other people. So she started putting herself up on a pedestal, thinking that she was better, separating herself and getting herself all caught up in herself, thinking that she was better than other people and stuff. It's like, no, we're all people. There's nobody's better than anybody else. One thing that is just really mind-boggling right now, too, is the amount of people in videos that are going into nature. It's like, yeah, you wake up and you start realizing, like, nature's beautiful. Oh, look at these animals. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. But then people become invasive. It's like, those animals are just as important as you. You are not more important than those animals. And these people who just keep doing this weird shit. Just weird shit. Like, I don't understand. Like, why people, like, this one was, I don't know, there's a bunch of different footage. There's all sorts of weird shit going on. There's weird shit with animals coming. There's weird fucking interactions with bears. This one was really kind of horrific. Because this one was a big black bear. And I feel like this is kind of like the universe showing us, because all these women chose bears. I was like, what the fuck, ladies? Like, are you being fucking serious? Or are you just saying shit just to try and make your point? Yeah, men suck. I'd rather be with a bear. I'd rather be with something that will eat me and kill me than be with a man. It's like, okay, this is mental. So now we have all these fucking bear attacks or something. And it's part of, to me, is for us to, like, see and respect the difference. Like, I don't know. It's so weird how people just have no respect. But so this older lady, she lived out in the woods. I don't think she lived like me in a neighborhood. She lived more out further. Like, I'm not sure how much her distance was between a town and other houses. But so she had some bear that was coming in harassing her. And if she would go out of her house or something, this bear would come and start following her, where it was like stalking her. It was trying to get into her house. It was trying to get into all her stuff. It wouldn't go. It wouldn't leave. And she had authorities involved. And so there was stuff that was being done. I'm not really sure. But they were trying to protect her. And then nobody heard from her for a couple days. So they went out to go look, and the bear got her and tore her up and ate her. And then they killed the bear, and then they found another one. And so, and I am seeing so many videos of bear interactions. So many. Like, oh my gosh. Like, people out jogging. Like, as one thing too, it's like when we were going and walking in the woods and stuff. And, I don't know, it was one thing when we went through on the other side where they built the houses, because you're going and it's really wide. Then on the other part where we have to enter now, because we can't go through that part, you can't get through there anymore because of those, whatever they've done with these houses. And so now you have to just stay back there. There's other little trails that can go off, but then you're really in the woods part. So this bigger trail, which I think is an old road. I think it's roads that they used to use when cars were like smaller. I always picture like this like jalopy kind of car going through the thing, like delivering milk and stuff, and all these little houses. because when there used to be 30,000 people out here, there's a lot more houses. And it wasn't that long ago where the fuck all the houses go. It's very strange. And so in these roads back there, it was like, that's what I think is like they just move out and build out here, and then they just build on top of things, so that keeps us hidden from our history. So I don't know if they why. There's a whole thing now too with the what's that thing called? The place under the ground in New York that people ride on that train thing. What is that called? It's something called a submarine. It's well, you guys probably already know what it is. Probably all saying it now. But that system in New York where people go and ride that train underground, subway. So they have that system all over the place. Well, now it's coming out like those tunnels were founded. So they didn't build these tunnels. And that is another thing where the person is talking about they didn't even have the capability to build these tunnels. And they found these tunnels like in 1908 or 1905 or something. And then by 1906, they started using them. And then it said founded. So all this elaborate tunnel system and stuff was already there. And so that it was like these cities underneath us. And it's the same thing in Seattle. I think the same thing in San Francisco. There's all these places where they have cities. Like in Seattle, you can go and tour this. And I even saw it in an old movie. It was like a, what was that guy called? It was a guy from like, it was the 70s or 80s. And he was in these movies. He was a reporter, detective kind of guy. And it was like Night Stalker, Strangler. I love these movies. I can't think of his name now. But, so it's an old movie. And I had just seen it recently. And it was, they were going on a tour in Seattle underground to this other city that's underground. I know those tours still go on. And then they call it something just like these subway tunnels, you know. They don't say, oh, these are the tunnels that people used to use. Because then we would start questioning, like, what they do in the tunnels? Why do they have tunnels down here? Didn't they live above ground? Are we just going into other realms and using old stuff from old realities? And where did that reality go? And so there's a lot of weird stuff. Like, I think that they just don't want us to question things and to think deeper. They just want to keep us shallow, want to keep us in a state of cortisol, where you're just like spinning on all your chemicals, stressed out. That's how they want to keep you, just stressed out, because that ages you too. And aging is a big fucking thing. Like, man, the money they make off aging and how it has worked. Like, people totally believe in aging, and it is not real. And there's so many people who have done it, and it is like, but it is really poisoning. It's really mineral shortages and stuff. And so all those people could turn things around, but however deep it is, like people, because there's people in their 70s who are also not older, or I think there's people in their 80s and stuff. There's people who are catching on to the aging thing earlier on, or that they just didn't never really have a severe mineral deficiency. But, oh yeah, now there's a whole thing coming out too with the DNA. Like, our DNA shows more of like where we come from. Like, there's a whole thing with the Rh negative. Like, the Rh negative people really want to stick together. They have, they're from somewhere else and stuff. Same with the O. And then there's something about the O people, and it's like most of the tribes or something, or O, or most of the indigenous people, or most of the brown people or something, or O or something. I don't know. All these people that get on these blood things, but the but blood types can show like where you're from, like I don't know if they were saying like the O is like from Syria or something. The Syrian, not Syria, but the, and there was something else about like where people were. I already could see all that, like the thing with the tribes in the Middle East and stuff, and uh, in the ways that different groups came down and uh, intermingled with different groups, and it created more groups, and there was just this uh, a broadening of tribes, like, but there's just more to it, and it does have to do, I'm not surprised it has to do with our blood type, but it definitely has to do with your DNA and stuff. But there's also there's so much to us coming and being birthed into these situations that is also a part of us. So it's like not just getting stuck on one part of you, because that just is like there's more to you. What was that one too? Because these people, and they're getting stuck on one part of you because they are, what is that? Well, but you're multi. You're not just somebody from like the Pleiades or somebody from the Lyria or any of these places. That is just one little aspect of you. That's like discounting all of the other stuff that makes you, you, to just focus on the one part of you. It gives us more of an idea, I think, of where home may be, like where we would feel the most at home. But I think there's so much in our DNA from all the different lives and stuff that we've lived. So I don't know. And then there's going to be some people, though, that will go home. It will go back to that place. And it is home. And so, you know, and that could be somebody who just feels all the time like, I'm not home, I'm not home, I'm not home. And just this nagging feeling. And that could be because they live other kind of lives. They don't come into this game all the time, because this is just one game in a whole universe. It's like one thought. It's like one dream in a brain that is full of possibilities. So it's not, that's why it is like stars or orbs flying all around. And you can just go from different existences to different existences, different realities, different games, different possibilities. And I think a soul is always learning, but I don't think that all realities are all about teaching. Like this one that we're in here, this is all about learning and teaching and growing. And you can see that. You can see the people who haven't grown. You can see the people who are lost. You can see how things hold people back. Like, it probably holds JLo back, being so full of herself, thinking like she has no problem. She's rich. She's beautiful. She's got nothing to worry about. It's like, yeah, but you do have stuff to worry about. You've got toxic relationships. You're not authentic. You're not real. You're not honest. You look at yourself above other people. You try and victimize yourself in any kind of trauma. It's not you. It's somebody else. Like, those are all toxic. The best thing you could do for yourself is just be honest with yourself and be real and be willing to look at yourself and your own stuff. I mean, when things happen, toxic interactions and stuff, don't just blame the other person. Look at you and try and figure out, why am I looking at it like this? Why am I seeing it this way? Because that is your trigger. That is your opportunity to grow. So we have these interactions all the time. And she could be somebody who ends up at her life review, and then she looks back and she saw all these opportunities, all the opportunities she had to grow or change or look at stuff differently. and she just dug in harder to protect herself. That's the thing, is that people who are incapable are very much in a protection mode of themselves. It's out of fear of being seen, out of fear of being exposed, out of fear of it not being accepted. But the reason why you're hiding yourself for fear of not being accepted is because you don't accept you. You're the one who doesn't accept yourself. Otherwise, you'd put yourself out there and be like, well, you like me or you don't like me. Who cares? It doesn't really matter. The people who like you, that's for a good reason. And the people who don't like you, it's the same thing. They don't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with your life. It's like, I mean, you can try and conform and change and try and get this person to like you, but then what about that person? They're not going to like that. So then you got to change and conform to make this person like you. And pretty soon, you're just changing and conforming yourself to try and create friends or create some kind of substance in your life where you feel like you're connected, but it's nothing is real because you're not really putting your real self out there. You're just putting this person that you think that they might like and they might like. It's like you got to let go of that stuff. You got to let go of this fear of not being accepted, of trying desperately to get people to like you and accept you. Because the main thing is you to learn how to like and accept yourself. That changes everything. Once you learn to accept yourself and love yourself, it doesn't matter. It won't affect you. Like, that person down there doesn't like me. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's like we're not in alignment. We're not in vibe. We're not meant to be in an interaction. It doesn't matter. And, we can get caught up and feel sorry for ourselves and, well, I like them. Well, I was just trying to be nice. I'm just trying to do this. I just saw this fucking video too. There's so much of this. Like, fuck, people are losing their fucking minds. They're just doing stuff that is so outlandish. This one was in Alaska. And I'm sure there's got to be a lot of racism there because there's a lot of indigenous people. And that is one thing too. It's always a scheming and scamming to take the land from the indigenous people. And those are some that, we want to forget about or something. We all get caught up in Hawaii. Like, oh my God, they're doing all this stuff in Hawaii and everybody's still going on vacation. There's so many fucking people just still going all their vacations and stuff. I just saw a video of these couple out just playing in the water. And then somebody runs up, there's a shark. And they come running out and there's two. It's like these people are just whacked, man. But, so this guy in Alaska, so this woman and her dad come out of the grocery store and she has a bunch of stuff. So she sets one of her things down on a trash can so that they can start putting their stuff in their car or whatever. And this guy, he seems like he's drunk or something. He's got his cup. But my dad always had these cups and they didn't have coffee or whatever. He did get into the thing of thought he was so cool with the Coca-Cola thing. Dump out some of the Coke, fill it up with vodka, put it in the freezer. And then when you're ready to go, you just pull one of those out and go. That was his thing. He thought he was so tricky and smart. But anybody who's been around alcoholic knows, like, they've always got a cup and it doesn't have fucking coffee in it. And so who knows what the hell this guy has. I mean, his behavior is so out of context. I don't know. It's extraordinary to me that people have got so much balls to act like this to people. And he goes up and starts yelling at them and being really aggressive and racist as fuck, man. God damn. You people need to pick up your garbage. And you just leave your garbage sitting here and all this stuff. And the woman and the old man is trying to, leave us alone and stuff. And the old man even pushes him. And then he's ready to fight this old man because he goes tearing up right up in the old man's face. And God pushes back. And he's ready to fight the old man who's with the woman. Like, this guy was crazy. And there keeps being all these kind of videos of these weird interactions. And then you keep having these other interactions too where these people are heroes. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of these. This one, a guy was following, he's just driving. And there was one of those fucking trucks in front of him. What are those ones I said? There's all these crimes always involved with these U-Hauls and these Penske trucks and shit. And I can't even tell you how many fucking things. Even when that house, that standoff a few weeks back, that's the thing that they took, was one of those. It's like, and there was a big weird thing out here with a big chase. And then they were like, well, they're chasing a U-Haul. That this person stole a U-Haul. Oh, really? A U-Haul stealer gets this much police. Like, they had cops all the way down Mount Baker Highway. They were everywhere. It was like, no fucking way. And so I was suspicious about those all the fucking time. Just the same as the white vans, the black SUVs, and the white SUVs, I guess, are another thing too. As there's people who are being gang stalked all over the place for speaking the truth, and white SUVs are also a thing. Also white cars, I guess. If you see a lot of white cars. So, I don't know. But so this guy's driving in traffic, and he's driving behind one of those U-Hauls or something. And he notices something weird. And then someone's like, I think it was like a crack open or something, and someone's like putting their hand out or something. He's like, I think this is being used for traffic situation. And so he's like, he's doing videos. And so these videos started earlier, and I was seeing him right when he was doing them somehow. And there was other people too, because other people were getting caught up in it. And so he was following it. He's like, I'm going to keep following it. And then he started calling the cops or whatever. It was a huge bust. It was full of kids and shit. And so, he saved them. He followed them around. He called the cops. He got it all blocked, everything. And, man, it makes me feel emotional. There was another one that a woman, God, it's just so much sadness. So much bad shit happening. It's fucking hard. There was one, a woman was getting it from her apartment, and it was down, and she was a couple of floors up. There wasn't really anything she could do, but she heard someone screaming. Everybody's got their phones on them on all of the fucking time. And so she starts videotaping, and this woman's trying to get out of this car and push back in, and she called the cops and stuff, and she said, I think this woman's getting trafficked or something. Like, something's going on here. And she tried to save her. I don't know what happened with that one. Luckily, the kid who was following the U-Haul thing, he was documenting the whole thing all afternoon, and he success. I don't know about on hers, but there was another woman, and she was in, I think, Hermosa Beach, and she was leaving a restaurant. It could have been, it was one of the beaches in Southern California, and she was leaving a restaurant, and there was a woman on the ground in front of her, just laying there, and her stuff's all spread out, and there's a guy standing there. And so she's like, are you with him? Like, what's going on? And the guy was just like, and so she starts trying to help the woman, and the woman's very intoxicated, very out of it, and she's like trying to help her. Do you need help? What's going on? Are you with this guy? And this guy keeps saying, yeah, they're there together. And so this woman helps her to get up. She gets her purse, starts looking through her purse to find if she has all her stuff. And she's like, where's your phone? And the woman's like out of it, whatever she's saying. And the woman keeps saying, are you with him? And she's like, yeah. And then so she gets the phone, like the guy has her phone, and I don't know how, I don't remember if she saw it or whatever, or if the guy pulled it out, but so she got the phone. When she opened it, I think she had the girl open it, and when she opened it, it was a different guy on the phone, and she's like, who's this? And she's like, my husband. And so then the woman's like real suspicious now, like, what the fuck is going on? So she gets the lady's address. She gets an Uber, and her and the woman she's with gets this lady in the car with the Uber driver, sends them home to her address with all her stuff. So they just send her out. The guy starts fucking fighting with the woman. He's with her. She needs to mind her business. Turns into this big fucking huge fight out there. I don't remember if the cops came and stuff, but that guy was determined. And that's the thing, is you got these predators all out there. There's another bar now. Where was that one? I think it's Southern California too. Another bar that has been caught or known of that are drugging people. Oh, man. Like, I don't know if all these people who are drugging people knows what happens. Like, I don't know if bartenders that are doing that get some sort of a kickback. I don't know what the fuck. There's so much shady shit. But anyways, some of these people who are being drugged in bars, like one drink and then they're out of it. Like, it's not safe. It's not even safe to go out and fucking get water. I swear to God, this place right now is so unsafe. Like, there's so much shit going on. So much shit in the cities too. The cities are not fucking safe at all. I just saw one in Oakland. And this one was a guy who was trying to steal a bunch of stuff out of the dollar store. I don't know if they locked the door. It's full of people. The guy is in there with his cart trying to slam through the door. This is going on and on. They're all waiting for the cops to come. This guy's just trying to slam through the door with his cart. He's got his partner, who's some girl who seems like she's all sketch. Just like all jonesing out there. Hurry, hurry, let's go. And then he can't get out of the store. This is dollar store stuff. Like, I don't know. I guess they have food and shit. Like, if you're fucking hungry, like, I would steal if I was hungry. I would probably just go in the place and just eat something right there. But I don't know that I would go and try and take off with a whole cart of food. And then, or a whole cart of whatever it is. And so, and this keeps going and going. Like, this is all a part of it. I think that is part of the part of the instigator shenanigan lifestyle. They're probably promoted to do a lot of thievery because then they can tell us, like, oh, well, we have to do this to protect, because there's way too much thievery. Because now they've already, at one place, they're locking everything up. And it's just more control, more of us not. And we got to see, we don't want these people's shit. So he's trying to get out. And nobody's stopping him. They're all just, one guy keeps walking past him like, I can't believe this bar. No, an old white guy. And the guy is a young black guy. And he's trying to get out the thing. Finally, he just takes something and breaks one of the windows out. So he shatters the window and then starts climbing through. And his stuff's all falling. He's grabbing it like, I'm not leaving any of this behind. And then you can hear sirens, but I don't know, the guy got away or if he didn't get away. But there's a lot of, some of this stuff, it seems like, is this a setup? Like, are people just doing this as a setup because it's so ridiculous? Like, there was a video of a woman who's going up to a man. I don't know what the hell he did in the parking lot. He just got his McDonald's for lunch. So much stuff with McDonald's lately. Jesus Christ. Like, there's so many people just go to McDonald's all the time. It's like, boy, people, you're going to be in for a surprise when you find out what the fuck you've been eating. Then, and you're still eating. And so, whatever, he's sitting in the parking lot. You can tell it was a darker skinned person, and she was a lighter skinned person. And she's getting out of her car and coming over and yelling at him. And then she starts to walk away. And then she comes back and she does it like 3 or 4 times. And she just keeps saying rude shit like, son, go back to school, son. And just, so talking down. Just like the guy in Alaska. It's like, what is wrong with these people? Like, to talk to people like this? Like, if you've got an attitude that is that vicious, keep it to your fucking self. Like, Jesus Christ, go out and just pass on your anger, your rudeness, because you feel bad about yourself that you got to try and make other people feel bad. Because if you felt good about yourself, you wouldn't take the time of day to run around trying to make people feel bad. The people who are out there trying to make people feel bad obviously don't feel good about themselves. And they just want to lash out and have everybody else not feel good about themselves. Because there's no fucking person who feels good about themselves, who's happy. Even if somebody goes and does something fucked up, cuts them off in a line or something, they're not going to lose their goddamn mind. I mean, to me, I'd be like, well, they obviously need it sooner than I do. Or, you know, if I'm standing and somebody tries to go in front of me, then maybe I would be like, hey, I was in front of you. But the other day when I went to food bank, all of a sudden there was some extra people that were there. And me and the guy who was standing behind him, it was like, because we had counted. So I knew I was number 7, he was number 6. And all of a sudden I was number 8 and he was number 7. We're looking at the people like, where'd the extra person come from? And one of the people wasn't even there. They just left their bag and never even came back. So I don't know. I didn't, you know, make a big scene or something. I'm going to have a scene. It's just like, well, you know, you just got to let some stuff go. Like, what is it? What do you care if somebody sets their stuff down on the trash can? Is like, I mean, there's people just throwing shit. Like, there's so much garbage and stuff. Oh, this blew my mind yesterday. This really blew my mind. So on TikTok, there's constant footage all the time of, I don't know, like a war-torn looking situation. And then you have different people. It could be a reporter. I've been out here all day. There's bombings going on over here at the, you know, on the strip. And then it was like, oh, it's so dangerous. It's so bad. There's bombs. Oh, these people just got killed. Oh, that's happening. Look at this building blown up. And just all this crazy shit. And so I kept on thinking all the time, like, I'm not going to sit and watch these. I'm not going to get caught up on, even on the dog ones and stuff. It's like all this stuff is so heart-wrenching. But like on the dog ones, like they're even coming in for these experiences and stuff. Like everybody comes in for the experience they're having. And so I kept thinking, it seems kind of like a Syria or something. Like, are they showing us a different place and telling us it's this place? Like, I don't know what the deal is. But it seemed like that they were really trying to create a lot of drama, which somebody who was talking about it, the protests, you know, those that are all over the place where, you know, other people's flags are being waved and stuff. And so she did see where it was death to America. That's the chant. I was like, dude, I told you. I told you. There's going to be some people who just don't even know what they brought in, what they got it to be a part of. Like, certain things you just don't go and support. And then there's certain things that are all going to play out too with the treason and shit. Like, who knows how this is all going to play out. It's going to be intense, I'll tell you that. It's going to be intense. There's going to be real, regular citizens that are going to go down. And then there's like, the judges are not fucking around right now, man. I've seen so many of these cases where, I gotta think because I know I'm jumping around. I skipped off of something. But I've seen all these cases of, man, there's so many. God damn. One yesterday. Oh, fuck, it's horrible. Oh, one yesterday, and I don't know if people are adding in some of this stuff, was some woman left for 10 motherfucking days and went on vacation and left her 16-month-old baby alone, home alone. Well, obviously the baby wasn't alive when she got home. And then she tried to dress it up and make some other story or something, but she got busted. And there was footage of the last video. Like, I don't know where these videos came. The last videos of their little girl, and it's fucking heart-wrenching. It's so disturbing. I just can't even imagine a little fucking kid. But, oh my god, damn. Trapped in there. Not, oh my god, damn. What is wrong with people? Like, fuck, man. Fucking hell. Another one, a guy who, a school guy or Oh, daycare. He owns a daycare or works at, I think he owns it. And, but he decided that kids were fun sex toys, so he was doing his business with them. Got caught. He's got a very stiff sentence. That other guy, he got a stiff sentence. Oh no, the woman, she got a stiff sentence. That guy did. Then there was another one that I saw yesterday. And and these are all court cases that are happening, like in the news and stuff. This guy, oh, it's so disgusting. He decided to have his way with a 9-month-old. And then that one too, you hear screaming and screaming and screaming. I don't know where these videos are coming from with all this screaming. And so the courtroom is quiet while they listen to this fucking screaming. And the judge passing down the sentence and stuff. But he did the deed until he killed it. And that is something like out of that one documentary that I was talking about. I don't even know where you find it or whatever. But it's the documentary about that situation, only done from a person who's involved, like somebody who was involved with that. Like that's how he got videos of that woman who was like, I don't care. I just want the most money. Part it out, sell it to whoever. I don't care. I just want the most money. How do I get the most money? And she was like 9 months pregnant. Like she's ready to give birth. And she just wanted, oh my God, I can't, oh my God, I just can't. How people are so disconnected from shit, man. Fuck, it's weird. So, and also, what's her name? The girl married to Ryan Reynolds. She's also spoke out on this stuff, like, which I don't know, it's strange. But so there was a thing about I can't remember what it's called, but it is like the highest paid thing. Like the guys who do this will pay like $100,000 or something for this opportunity. And you get a newborn, and then you do that till it dies. And they'll pay the most money for that. Like, what in the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, any of us who've had girls who've had to change their diapers and stuff, like, what? Oh, God. Like, what size do you, oh my God, I just don't even understand these people. Fuck, this place is so sickening. I can't believe there's people who look at this place as like, this is the most darkest place. There's so much dark energy. It's fucking evil. This is a place where evil plays out. This is a place where evil reveals itself. And it's the people playing the parts, man. That's not a fucking devil. That's not a demon. That's a fucking person doing this shit. And they line up. They save their money. Some guys who get in relationships with girls with small kids just so they can do this. It's like so many different cases I've seen. These women. And man, being a single mom, you know how hard it is. You know how lonely it is. And no shame on these women who are trying to find somebody to be a partner with, somebody to have some kind of to not feel so alone or feel so down or feel so exhausted by the whole thing, to feel like that there's something for them. But there's so much of this evilness. It's like it's a game. And women think that they're getting a boyfriend and they're really getting a predator in their house. And some of them has been the other way. Some of this has happened too. Guys are getting together with girls and they're fucking, one of them, the girl was doing sex stuff and it had it all on her phone to his little baby or kid or whatever it was. It was a small kid. And his girlfriend was doing it and then selling the videos. So, man, oh my God, I just, like, I can't even imagine, like, to think, how do you even look at yourself in the mirror? Like, no wonder we have so much angry, bitter people. People do such shady, harsh shit. And then we think that they can go out and be decent people and feel good about themselves. No, we're going out around people who are toxic, who don't feel good about themselves, who lash out, who will hurt other people. Like, that energy is all around us. That's the energy that is being purged out. That's why it's coming so much to the surface, and you're seeing it. You're seeing the evil in people's faces. You're seeing the darkness come out of people. And some people hold on to it. They're not just letting it go. They're not letting it out. They're holding on to it and keeping it. And it's fucking so, oh man, it's intense. Like, this is the time of change. That's her tail. She's wagging it. She's happy. I don't know, it's gotta be a dream or something. She's so cute. But it is, this is, you know, all this stuff, purging out, seeing the truth, seeing the toxic. I think there's a lot of people who don't want to be thinking like, that there's this evil in the world. But like right now, there's another couple that's in the news, a rich couple too. Have a whole lot of, I think they have like 700 acres or something. I don't know, they have a lot of land, they're rich, and they seem like good people, apparently, to the system, as they let them adopt 5 little African kids, and they kept them out in a shed that looks dilapidated. It was literally like a barn that you would keep, and it was a dilapidated barn even. Like, nobody should be out there. And that's where they have these kids. Some of them are really little too. Like, I don't remember the ages. You can look it up. Like 4, 5, 6, 9, and 11 or something like that. These 5 little kids living out in this barn. They don't go to school. No, they homeschool. But they really spend 12 hours a day out in the fields doing the work of the farm. Then in the nighttime, they're locked up back in the barn, actually locked in. So those people are busted. There's just like, just like, that's the thing. People look up at people like, oh, well, they're beautiful, or they've got money, so therefore they have worth or value. And people can use that to mask and hide. People use religion to mask and hide. There was another one too that was coming to my mind. What was that one? And I didn't ever even finish saying the other one. But there is all of this different stuff, all this stuff happening. There's more going with Vladimir and Kim Jong-un, however you say his name, that their bond is tightening, and they're saying, I don't know, if they're going to take some kind of action within 30 days or something. That there's, was it something with the money or something? There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening. Like, anything is just going to keep falling apart. And I think the more that you see people's weird behaviors and stuff, the more that shows that we're going towards, like, the people are going to become really uncomfortable in the light when they've got so much dark in them. The dark has to purge out. And then once the dark is being purged out, and then being purged out right in front of them, so they have to witness it, then that's up to them, you know, what they're capable of healing. That's what we're going to start seeing, is that there's a lot of people who are going to be purging that shit out and don't even realize how much darkness they have. And there's going to be an embarrassment and humiliation when they realize how toxic they are. And another thing too, so I had made, you know, I've been making cookies and breads and all this shit. And I kept thinking something's weird with the flour. But it's like, oh man, if they fucked up the flour, like, what the fuck, man? And knowing that for sure, they're not going to let us have any food that they're not fucking with. Are you fucking kidding me? You try and start cooking from scratch, well, they're going to get you. Doesn't fucking matter. So I kept thinking, something's weird with this flour. Everything keeps coming out weird. And so then it's like, you know, like trying to problem solve. Was it this little oven? Is it this? Is it that? Trying to figure out like what is going wrong. And so I made some pizza dough, and I made a pizza the other day, and half of it's in the freezer, which I'm gonna throw it away. Is that I made like a Thai pizza because I had made this peanut sauce. So I made, and I had all these vegetables. Well, right now, my thing that I really like eating is fritters. I really like making, like grinding up carrots. I had celery and pepper, but whatever. I'm just going to use onion and carrot and cabbage. And then if I had other stuff, I would add it in. Just grind it all up. And then it was adding flour and egg, and make these little patties, and then you fry them, and they're so good. And then you can make these sauces. I have this one sauce I made, so fucking good. It's some kind of Japanese barbecue sauce. And then I made this hot chili oil. So you get the chili oil, and then you get the chili peppers, and then you mix them together, and you make your own. And it is way spicy. Like if you've ever been to a Thai restaurant, then you can make your chili sauce way spicier. So not just the chili oil, to add the chili peppers, the red chili pepper flakes, and put them in a thing and let them sit. It gets spicy as shit. And then I put the red chili sauce stuff in the barbecue. Oh my God. It's so good. Especially if you like spicy stuff, which I do. And then those little fritters, vegetable fritters, are really good. So anyways, I'm not going to be able to use the flour now. I'm not going to fucking make anything with flour. So I made this crust. And so I made that pizza. Then the day before yesterday, I made another one because I was like, oh, I got to use this dough up. So I made like a cheese one. And me and Stella ate all that one. And the other one is like, the Thai one is kind of like a fritter on top of a pizza with the peanut sauce. And it's in the, I'm throwing it away, but so I got the pizza dough out yesterday because it's supposed to be like good for like 5 days. And I think that was like the 4th day or the 5th day. I was like, I'll use it up, and I'll make some like cinnamon pizza thing. So I have some I can eat in the morning time. So I was going to make like a cinnamon roll pizza kind of thing. And I got out the crust, or I got out the dough, and I opened it. It was full of something. I don't even fucking know. I tried to look and see. I even just got it out of the trash to try and look some more. And I did a video, and it's getting a lot of people going and looking at it. Some people are like, well, it's mold. It's not mold. It's not even what fucking mold would look like on the fucking thing. And it's not Weebles. Because Weebles was when I was younger. Because when I was a stay-home mom, I baked all the time. I baked cookies and all that kind of stuff. Then when I started working all the time, I didn't have time. And so my flour would sit there. And then I opened it, and then I saw these bugs in it. And then my mom was like, oh, that's Weebles. If they'll grow in your flour if you, I don't know, if they're in there dormant or something, then you don't use it for a long, I don't know what the fuck with these bugs in the fucking shit, that if you don't use it, all of a sudden you have bugs in it. I had something that in my pantry even that had gone, I had moths. My fucking thing filled up with moths. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, I don't know, it was some other kind of grain thing that went bad. But so this one, there was no Weebles in it or anything. There was nothing in it. I'd looked in, I've been using it. I just got it. And it was Pillsbury too. I just got it at the store. And the grocery outlet that I like to go to, it's like you just got to get whatever brand that they have at the time. It's always different. They don't have like it's not like a regular grocery store, but you get everything way cheaper. And so, whatever, this Pillsbury flour. So, and I had gotten one, I think, before, and then this was the second one, because I know I had had 2 of these. So I must have went, and then I got one, and then I went back and got another, or whatever. So I had already used one of them, and this was the second one, which I'm going to dump the whole motherfucking thing out. So when I got the dough out, it had like, looks like black bugs or something all over in it. These black things. And, and it's very bubbly, which to me, like, it hadn't bubbled that much until it got all these bugs in it, whatever these bugs are. And I was like, man, you know, some of the people in the comments said that they grind their own flour or they get flour from other countries and stuff. But I'm just kind of right now, I'm just like, man, I think this is just my sign to just stop making cookies and breads and stuff for a while. Just, yeah, I don't know. And then I saw a woman who was just talking about the neuro stuff. And she was saying with the dementia and stuff, it's something with the myelin, and that there's an attack on the myelin, and that is like your sheath that protects your brain and stuff. So she said that one thing that attacks it is the medicine that they give you for cholesterol. And I don't know, I'll share the video. You can listen to her. And something about, because we need fats. And it's like we need them. It's like the oiling the machine or something. And then they tell you to not take these medicines, but then the medicine is doing something else. Like they had tried to get me to take that. I think I took maybe a month or two's worth because they put so much pressure on you. They make like you're a complete idiot if you don't, like, you've got high cholesterol. This is dangerous. You're going to have a stroke. You've got to do this. And then, I don't know. I would always notice the side effects and stuff. It was at the end when it was everything built up, where I was on like 18 meds. I was sick as fuck. I was so fucking frustrated. And I was so sick. I couldn't even fucking walk around. And I was telling the doctor, and I asked the pharmacist, I said, could it be the medicine? I'm on all these meds. They've got to be interacting wrong. And he found 3 that he said I was going to get a GI bleed. And I told my doctor, and she just argued. She's a nurse practitioner. She just argued, said that was crazy. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I should have just stopped right then. But I kept going. And then when I finally got into the appointment for the colonoscopy, and I went in to do that, and then it was so horrible. The doctor was such a dick. He looked at me like I was a drug addict. He kept looking at me, like, wouldn't even look at me, look at my tattoos, and then just kind of, you know, like I was garbage. It's like, fuck you, dude. And so he treated me like shit. Then when they're supposed to put you to sleep with a conscious sedation, which I was awake through the whole fucking thing, was begging him. It was so fucking painful. I couldn't believe how painful it was. And I don't know what the deal was, but he wouldn't give me any medicine. And so then he treated me like shit the whole time, you know, and I was glad to be done and out of there. I was like, fuck that guy. And he said, oh, I don't see any problems. And then, whatever, like a week later after the labs came back, then they called and told me I had colitis. And then I was really upset, because what I knew of colitis was where people have to end up getting parts of their intestine cut out and stuff. It's very inflamed. It's very diseased. They have to get it removed. Sometimes they have to have colostomy bags and shit. And that's what they're doing to fucking people. And so then my daughter had looked it up, and she said, no, it's microscopic colitis comes from the medicine. The medicine's doing it. That is when I was like, fuck this shit. And I just took it on myself. I was like, I'm not going to the fucking doctor. I'm just taking myself off all these meds. I'm fucking done. And I've had to go to the doctor a few different times for a few different things, just like even on my insurance, my disability insurance. You have to go and have the doctor say, yep, you still have a brain injury every year. Now that it runs out in 2 years. So I don't know if they're going to make me do anything else for the last 2 years. Maybe the last couple years they don't, but I've had to do it all throughout. Go to the doctor, have the doctor sign off. But I took myself off all those meds. I did it because I was fed up with the fucking bullshit. And now to see the health difference, what blows my mind is my veins. My veins had gotten so small, and they were, before they were big, and I could easily get blood drawn and stuff. But then as I got sicker and sicker, my veins were disappearing. They could never get an IV. They couldn't do blood. It was like a fucking nightmare. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? And now my veins are huge again. This is the fucking medicine. The medicine is fucking killing us. The lack of minerals, all this shit they're doing. That's what makes us sick. That's what makes us old. That's what makes us aging. That's what makes us have disease and illness and all this shit. Is what they're doing to us. It's like you got to catch on and you got to see and stop playing the part of the fucking patient, their victim. That's all we've become. Is victims to this reality. So it's way more of standing up for yourself, making decisions for yourself. That's why this is this big freaking, this big thing is us going towards independence in all different ways. How we look at ourselves, you know, we don't need other people to value us, to value ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves because of what our bodies tell. Like, everything is to come through you, not from some other source that's making money off of you, feeding off of you. Like, so anyways, that's what this whole awakening is all about, is this road to independence, this road to your true you, the you that you want to be, not the you that you have become in this toxic world. And whatever shit you've done, if you've done some nasty shit, and if you're still doing nasty shit, if you're still going around being hateful to people and argumentative and stuff, notice what it is in you that's getting brought up. And I'm sure it has to do somewhere in there. It's like pretty basic. Fear is huge. Everybody's scared of something. Scared of this, scared of that. So you've got to pacify yourselves. Get yourself out of fear. What is it? Like, be logical. Man, my stomach's growling like crazy, and I don't have any cookies either. It's like, son of a bitch. I gotta get off of. I was already feeling like I needed to get off the cookies anyways, but now that flour thing, that was it, man. Oh my God. I just can't even believe. And I ate it. It's like, what have I eaten? What the hell? Did it take a couple days to grow in there? We're like, what is this? It looks like the GR stuff. Like these black things in there. Like, I didn't even try it with a magnet. I guess I could do that. Get a magnet out and see if that wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would motherfucking surprise me. They're just trying to fill us up with heavy metals and all that shit. I mean, there's more stuff with the trying to get us into the heavy metals and the frequency. Like, there's everything they're doing is so evil and so nefarious. Like, it's so. Yeah, anyways, the whole thing is just keep going towards you. Keep trying to get out of using any of their stuff, man. I don't know. It's going to come down to, like, just confirmation, barely eat anything to just survive. Like, it's shocking to me how there's still people going out and having these fast food. No, so many people still going out to restaurants and stuff. It's like, oh my God. I can barely even handle the food that I'm doing. I'm like, no way. And some of these people with their anger and mindless and not giving a shit, and you're handling your food. I don't know. There's just, but that is a dependency. Like, why are you, I don't know. I don't know how this is all, but we're in the shift. I mean, it's going. But all these people who are doing all this weird shit are all going to get the other view of things. And it's going to be dramatic. Everybody's going to get this other view of themselves. So whatever you're going around doing, you're going to see it more clearly soon enough. So don't stress out too bad. Don't keep thinking like, well, am I doing this? Am I doing that? But it's going to be shown to you. Just be prepared to see what you're going to see. And just come at it optimistically and, you know, with love and compassion for yourself, for healing and stuff. Don't go more in on hating yourself. Like, I don't know. You just hate yourself, and hate everybody. Maybe those are the souls that are going to go back into this thing and you're going to spit out new ones or something. I don't know. I don't know all this stuff. All I can tell you is that this is the time to be learning to love yourself, to love everyone, and figure out how to have a loving day, because it's up to you. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.